Dingus and Dongus.
Hey, Michael.
Episode 19.
Black Panther, World
Wow.
of Wakanda.
Wow. Black Panther. Wow.
Wow.
By Blizzard.
Yes. Blizzard, the corporation, wrote this.
Yes.
Because corporations are people.
Yes. Blizzard presents Wow. Black Panther. Wow.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Written by Roxane Gay, who we read previously with the Thief story.
Yep. The Banks.
Yep. And Marvel book, of course. I don't even know why I say that. People should know. But
Well,
if
it did
not,
introduce it as Blizzard's.
Blizzard's Marvel WoW. And this was put out in 2017. And it's a self-contained little jump-off point, it seems like, right?
Yeah. To me, it read more like a companion book.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And for a book called Black Panther, World of Wakanda, there was very little of either of these things in it.
Yeah.
No Black Panther, which is understandable. This is a separate story.
Right.
And then World of Wakanda, you don't get much of Wakanda till towards the end.
Right.
Then it kind of does.
It mostly focuses on the Dora Milaje.
And it should have been called Black Panther, Dora Milaje.
Yeah.
Or just Dora Milaje,
Yeah.
World of Wakanda.
Right. And so, like, goes through, like, some, early on, first issue is all about, like, new recruits being trained and all that shit. And then, well, actually, I think first two issues were about them being trained and then going out on missions. It kind of jumps around because it's a companion book.
Right. The first, I don't know, the first three issues really felt like they could have just been one issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't understand why there was such an emphasis on the love story between the captain and
the recruit.
Ayo or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Ayo and Aneko.
Yes.
Yeah, that,
At the end, I understood better
right.
because I didn't know who the Midnight Angels were, and this is sort of their origin story,
Right.
is my understanding. I don't know. I didn't know who they were. I haven't read much
Right.
of anything.
The problem with the love story is that it just didn't make any sense.
And it feels really forced, and it dominates the whole book.
Right. Basically, you get the captain, Aneko, greeting the recruits and then calling Ayo beautiful.
Right.
And then suddenly they're in love.
Right. That's a point I wanted to bring up. She instantly fell in love.
Yeah.
Like head over heels. Like, really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay, okay. This is just really fast paced.
Right. There's a lot of gaps in the story that I don't know if it happens, in the Black Panther proper book where
Right.
maybe they develop their relationship a little more there. If they
Perhaps.
show up,
Perhaps.
we didn't read it.
Yeah. One thing that I wish would have happened was towards the end, they started going to these other cities
Mhm.
and kind of fighting injustices and crimes in these other cities within Wakanda.
Right.
I wish that would have been the book.
Mm-hmm.
And this developing love story and this Dora Milaje training process could have been something that you fit in between
Right.
the cracks of the story of the world of Wakanda
Right.
and these horrible things happening that they're taking care of.
Right.
And why the Midnight Angels is their name,
Mhm.
why they exist. That would have been a far superior story.
Yeah, it'd be like a little travelogue of Wakanda.
Yep.
You get to visit all sorts of different places, but unfortunately, they don't do that.
You get a page
Yeah.
per city per major issue too.
Right.
Trafficking and kidnapping and
Yep.
things like that.
And extortion,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
You could have this whole book could have been that, and then sprinkled in and told with the story this character development of these characters falling in love
Right.
and this training process. The training process was really fucking dull.
Yeah. The only thing, the only character I actually ended up like kind of enjoy reading was actually just the villain of the story, I guess, quote unquote villain, Falami.
Yeah.
She was cool. She was like a little weird underdog.
Yep.
Of the training process, and then she's always out to like prove that she's the best, even though she's not quite.
Until.
Yeah, until and she gets herself in a situation where she basically takes like a super soldier serum of sorts. It's like nanites or something.
Nanite, yeah.
Yeah, to give her super strength and all that shit.
There was a super convenient plot point that led to that happening. Random guy that I don't know who he was said, "Hey, lady, go over here to this other guy so you can be awesome." And then he never shows up again. It's like, who the hell was this random figure that wants to help out Falami or Falimi? I forget how to pronounce Falami.
Folami. I just in my head it's Falami.
Falami. Okay. It's like, why are you helping her specifically?
Right.
Outside of trying to move the story along.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like I don't know. It's this. It just all feels so very shallow.
It
like,
is.
Yeah, because like it's a companion book. Like a lot of the big major plot points of what's going on in the world is probably happening in Black Panther.
Like Shuri apparently dying.
Yeah.
The Golden City was being assaulted at the end of one issue.
Right.
The second issue, or not the second, but the next issue after that, like Queen Shuri's apparently dead. I was like, what the fuck? That is a big thing. How did this happen? Right. Presumably in the
Black Panther book.
Yeah. Probably. But it's like,
But like, I think I picked up on this book is occurring around the same time as the lead up to Hickman's Secret War. Like he's building up to his Secret War, and it's happening during that build up where the Illuminati is getting together, and that's why
Namor's a prick.
Yeah, gotcha. Namor's being a prick, but then shows up in Wakanda because he's part of the Illuminati with Black Panther.
Well, he flooded.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably why the Dora Milaje kind of turned.
Yeah.
On Black Panther. Like, dude, what? You don't know what you're busy doing dumb shit.
Right.
With these dudes, and look what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I thought that was kind of a sudden turn too. Like we generations, presumably, of these girls and women being recruited as potential wives for the Black Panther, and they have to devote their lives to protecting the royal family.
Right.
And then the thing happens, and they're like, no. Like, all right. Like, I understand it.
Right.
But if this is so embedded in your culture, it's not going to flip.
Right.
Like that.
And a lot of the problem is that these plot points aren't in the book.
Right.
And it's, this book could have been a lot better if it was a more self-contained story.
I agree. It could have been the fucking world of Wakanda.
Yeah.
And you could have had compelling stories on a micro level, not relevant to continuity in the grand sense, because that's going to be hard to do with Black Panther existing.
Yeah.
So take this away from that story, but don't make it ripple too much in the universe, right?
Right.
Give a good, compelling story. And you can still build up your love story and your Midnight Angels origin.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
Now, another thing about the love story, there's got to be some ethical issues with that, right? Because it's the captain, a recruit,
right?
And
favoritism,
yeah, and like, I don't know for sure, but like, I was under the impression that Ao, the recruit, was just like a teenager at the time.
Oh, I didn't read into that at all.
Yeah,
maybe I'm not saying it isn't the case, but maybe my head just didn't want to register it when I was reading it. Could be.
I mean, like, I don't know. That's just like the thought that was in my head. Like, I could have sworn like
they recruit teenagers or
teenagers.
Whatever. Oh.
It was like, it's a little weird, and I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a little creepy.
I'm going to pretend that's not the case.
But regardless, there's still ethical issues with captain and recruit
Yes.
having a relationship like
And
that.
they have the same fight for
Mhm.
ages. It's like, I love you too, but I can't let anyone know.
Yeah.
And it just drags on for too long. Like, come on.
Yeah.
One thing I've noticed out of the 2 stories I read by Roxane is I'm not a fan of her dialogue at all. Everything that I've read,
Yeah.
the Banks and this, doesn't feel like the way people talk.
Well, I noticed this particularly with this book. I didn't get it as much with the Banks, but with this one, it does feel really stilted.
Yeah.
But then I started thinking, okay, we're talking about a completely different culture, which
Absolutely.
would have completely different speech patterns. And maybe that's what she was trying to go for.
Could be.
Still ends up being very stilted sounding.
Right.
But I guess I could kind of forgive it in a sense because it's taking place within a completely different culture.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it wasn't a complete failure of the book,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't expect Wakandans to speak like Americans.
Right. Yeah.
Like, here we use a lot of contractions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No contractions in Wakanda.
That's one of the things I picked up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But like with something like that, it's interesting. I don't think it still ends up being very stilted.
Yep.
Sounding.
Yep.
And I don't know. I mean, if it was a book about something taking place in America, that's completely unforgivable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But since it's a completely different culture with different speech patterns, like I could, okay,
Yeah.
I'd give it a pass.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But that also made me kind of wonder, like, do you think like Marvel and DC and big comic companies with expansive worlds, like, do they have like a little guidebook on
Like a lexicon?
Yeah.
They absolutely have to.
Yeah.
They fucking have to. Like, there's no way they don't.
Right.
There's no way.
Because to create a believable universe and continuity and all that, like, people from different places have to sound the same.
I'm really curious about that.
Yeah.
Because it exists in some form.
Right.
Otherwise, these companies wouldn't exist.
Right. Now, I wonder if it's like...
At what level?
Yeah, do they literally have a book that people can... Or like a PDF that, writers can go through?
Right.
Or is it just the job of a editor to go through and, like, make suggestions and changes?
Well, the writers have to have some basis to go on, right?
Yeah.
Because the direction as a whole is the company's direction.
Mm-hmm.
And then the writer gets to pitch ideas, but it has to be based on something.
Right.
Unless you're Donny Cates. Then you can just do whatever you want and it's amazing.
Yeah. The golden boy. He's the golden child.
I read his synopsis.
Yeah.
I might have watched something. Anyway.
Was it his explanation of the Black King?
It could have been.
King in Black?
It could have been the King in Black explanation.
It's like the thing where it's like, oh, I gotta do this in 1 minute?
No, not that.
Okay.
Anyway, he was just basically like, oh, let me throw this at you.
Yeah.
Let me, oh shit. I think it's at the end. Anyway, this book is not that good.
No.
I do like the Midnight Angels outfits, or their costume.
They remind me of Blue Beetle.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But cooler because there's 2 of them.
It's the Blue Beetles.
Yes. Blubittles.
Blubittles.
The old Blubittles.
And what, toward the end, there's also like a mutant that just happened out of nowhere.
Yep.
I don't.
And there's a completely different story in the last issue.
Yeah.
Why include this?
Yeah.
I have a feeling it was maybe Roxane wanted to include it so this other writer gets exposure. Perhaps. I don't know. But in my head, that would be one rationale
Yeah.
of why this issue is put in here.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make a lick of sense to me.
Right. Yeah, overall, I think it has potential. It's just the way it's written, it glosses over too many important details for for it to be a cohesive story.
Yes.
Of any kind. It's
Yes.
just you just get a smattering of like, oh, this happened, this happened, this happened, and come on, we're going somewhere, I promise.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't kind of want to go.
No, I don't. Like, yeah. If the fucking Midnight... I'm curious, and I thought this immediately after I finished reading it. I'm curious what the Midnight Angels do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not curious enough to put the effort in to read.
Right.
Like, I want you to tell me, basically. Not necessarily you.
Right.
But just like, someone tell me what happens, because it might be cool.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, I might have to do that.
Yeah, it's like the whole thing is like, okay, here's a good analogy. So Hansel and Gretel like leaving little breadcrumbs when they go to the woods.
Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. They're leaving breadcrumbs for us, and then birds are eating them. And then we gotta figure out where they went to save them, but we can't because, well, it was a shitty trail.
Yeah. Shitty trails, my friends.
Shitty trails. So the album this time is Dodecahedron's Kwintessens that came out on Season Mist, 2017.
It was the second time we've had the year line up. Unintentionally.
Really?
Comic and album.
Man, we're so good.
It's interesting. Someone's telling us something.
That we need to make better.
Peanut butter cookie? Is that what I'm hearing?
Like, we can. That actually sounds really good right now. Holy shit. Oh my god. I really want those QT peanut butter.
We should go to QT after this and get peanut butter cookies.
Fuck yeah. Okay, album. It's weirdo black metal.
Yeah. So we've had a lot of weirdo stuff recently.
You're welcome.
Part of it, I picked the last one too. It's just it wasn't black metal, right?
Yeah.
This was a good album.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I'm getting a little sick of avant-garde black metal, though, admittedly, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's at what point do we name it a different genre? Because avant-garde, by its definition, with what we've been listening to, is no longer avant-garde.
Yeah.
It's avant-garde has become a genre within itself, instead of what it is.
Right. It's not necessarily pushing any sort of boundaries. It's made a boundary for itself and a particular sound.
And it sits there.
Yeah.
And this album does it well.
Yeah.
It does it very well.
Yeah.
But it's like, let's call it something else and retake avant-garde.
Yeah. That's actually a very interesting point because, like, because you look at a lot of these quote-unquote experimental, like, black metal or whatever death metal band, they do all have a very similar atmosphere and just kind of feel to them.
Right. And you typically have a very predictable rhythm guitar, I guess, but it's distorted more than usual. And then on top of that, you have typically your dissonant and atonal, purposely bad-sounding notes put together on top of it, right?
Right.
And this one does it well, because it has that very distinct rhythm, and then the weird shit on top.
Maybe you call it obtuse. Obtuse metal.
There you go. Yeah. And that would be good too. Just strip away the black metal from it entirely. Obtuse metal.
Yeah,
there
obtuse.
You go. I could be down with that. Why not add another genre?
Right.
There's plenty of bands that'll fit in it.
Right.
And that's one of the things you've discussed in the past. When does new music become a thing? Like, everyone's already done a thing. Well, this is, to your point in the past that we've talked about, off microphone. This is a new genre, right?
Right.
They're making...
It's so far removed from classic black metal.
Right.
That why would you even really call it black metal?
Because it came from it.
Yeah.
But
you could hear the influences,
Yeah.
but it's so far removed from
Yes.
what it is,
Yes.
what it was, or where it came from. Another example would be Gorguts' Obscura. I mean, yeah, avant-garde death metal, sure, but like, it's so far removed from what death metal
yeah,
is.
right.
That is it really death metal? I don't know.
Meh.
Probably not.
Well, you can see the influences.
Yeah.
The caveat to that particular instance is the sound has changed on that album, yes, but the origin and roots of that band is very firmly death metal.
Oh yeah.
It very firmly rules.
Yes. 100%.
All the stuff rules, but
Yeah.
death metal Gorguts is supreme Gorguts.
It sounds like, I don't know, something from a Mexican restaurant.
Supreme Gorguts. Fake mustache, really white person sombrero.
Yeah. I just imagine one of those giant plates that people eat.
Competition
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the Supreme Gorguts. You get a free extra large T-shirt if you finish it within 30 minutes. The Supreme Gorguts.
Fuck it. We can talk about whatever we want. Great album. I'm gonna talk about Gorguts some more.
Okay.
Wait, no, I shouldn't, because I put them on the list. I'm gonna save this story for the list.
Okay. Then back to Dodecahedron. I found it surprisingly short.
I appreciated it.
Yeah.
Because I'm fucking done.
Yeah.
If we would have had this when I didn't pick 2 and when we didn't do what we've done recently, I would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
I also like that, because I listened to it several times, I seem to enjoy the interlude more than most of the rest of the songs. And I was also angry that the finale was not.
No. It was not the finale. There's one more, and it's really weird.
Yeah.
They do this thing where it'll play and then cut out for half a second and then come back.
Yep.
And it's not like it's not like, it sounds like somebody literally just cut the music off for half a second.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes back on.
Well,
it's weird.
It's a similar premise to Gorguts, what they did with a song. Fuck, I can't remember. Where they're just hitting the bass.
Okay.
And then bass, and it's a longer interval every time they slap the bass or whatever, I think. Similar premise to that, where it's like, gotcha, bitch. And then it's the anti-facet, Sacred White Noise, I think, ends abruptly.
Yeah.
So it's not quite the same, but it does, you're in this atmospheric trance, and then dead silence, we're done. So,
except they do that 5 times.
Right, yeah.
It's, I don't know what exactly they were going for there. I liked what was happening outside of the silence. I don't know if that sudden stop was really necessary.
Well, I think that just speaks to you and having concerns with silence.
Yeah.
And this making you have to reflect on the deadness.
On the emptiness of existence.
Yes.
Oh,
man.
Oh, it's making me reflect on our empty cries for help, resounding throughout the void.
Yes. It makes me think of the time that some random drunk guy nicknamed you Nothing.
Yes.
Was it Nothing or Nothingness?
I think it was just nothing.
Yeah, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was silly.
That's a weird time.
Yeah. The album art looked like a marble countertop in a kitchen.
It did.
And I'm curious what they would prepare on said countertop.
They are, I think, from the Netherlands. What did they?
They eat wooden
clogs.
shoes and windmills.
Clogs. It's a 5-course meal served on clogs consisting of tulips.
Yes.
Just
Tulip.
different parts of the tulip flower.
Yes.
Like the main course is the stem. Appetizers are the leaves. Dessert is the petals.
Yeah. And they sprinkle pollen
Yep.
on their water. That's their beverage, pollen water.
Pollen water.
Yeah. Some of these smoothies I have pollen stuff in it.
You know, when I was a kid, like my parents used to like make me eat these spoonfuls of like, I guess like chunky pollen.
Yeah, it's apparently a thing. I kind of researched it a little bit.
It's just gross.
I was like, why am I consuming pollen?
Yeah.
And then I kind of thought about it further. It's like, I consume pollen literally every time I breathe.
You do. Yeah.
There's got to be some benefit to it. Whatever. I
But-
put worse things in me.
Shit's gross though. It's just fucking chalky.
I've not had it by itself.
Oh really?
Yeah, no, it's just covered up by strawberries and mangoes and shit.
Okay.
So it's just in there.
Yeah, it's like, you know, the very first time I had it and my parents were telling me what it was, like, I was like, oh, this is gonna be fucking great. It's gonna be like honey.
Right.
Bullshit! It's fucking chalk. It's goddamn chalk, and it's like coat your mouth, and it's gross. Ugh.
Have you seen Dodecahedron by chance?
Nope, never have.
I have. And it was a really good show.
Yeah.
I didn't know much about them prior. Alex, dude that shoots mass destruction, he had shown me something of theirs. I don't remember what. And I hated it.
Yeah.
But I went and watched him anyway because I was like, all right, let's go watch it. And it fucking ruled. Like, cool, awesome.
Right.
And that was a good experience. That was in Norway. They are now, is my understanding, no longer.
Yeah, I think the vocalist died, and they decided to call it quits.
Fair.
Yeah. I would have liked to have had a chance to see them, but it is what it is.
It seems like it's difficult for these types of bands to last and then be a live entity.
Yeah, first it's difficult to pull off.
How do you perform it live?
Yeah,
is the question.
Right.
How do you get then all the trappings of a live band
Mm-hmm.
and the people and blah 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 blah.
Right.
Because the people making this stuff are atypical people.
Yeah.
I don't know any of them personally, but they have to be because of what they're making, and then. Well, they don't have to be, right? But there's high probability.
I mean, you got me.
Yeah.
And Obsolescence.
Yep.
But then again, I don't know.
How many live shows have you played? Less than a dozen, we'll say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When's the last one you played?
Fuck if I know.
How many times have you played out of state? Maybe once?
No, that was Augusta.
Okay. So,
yeah,
it's.
If you're gonna be weird, I guess you gotta expect that. You might not get as many opportunities as, quote unquote, more mainstream or traditional.
Traditional, yes, yeah.
But
no, it's a challenge that few can pull off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because whenever you're experimenting with form and genre, you're taking a risk,
and you're getting pushback.
Yeah,
guaranteed every time.
Yeah,
every time.
Oh, there's always going to be dumb diehards.
Yeah,
that demand tradition be followed to the letter.
Go listen to those bands.
Yeah.
Which I do often.
Yeah.
I'll go
but,
here.
there's always going to be people who are close-minded and don't want to listen to anything, outside of the box or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're going to run into those people. So, that's, I guess, why I get excited when bands that kind of push boundaries and, try to do different stuff succeed.
Yeah.
Because, it's cool that, to see that can still happen.
Right.
It's
in this day and age.
Yeah, we're not stagnant. That's neat. At the same time, hey, if there's going to be a new Bolt Thrower album, there's not going to be, but If there is, I will listen to it.
Yes, sign me up.
Yeah. Yes, please. And another reason why, anytime there's a new Vader album, yeah, okay. Give me more Vader.
It's going to be Vader. Perfect. Yeah.
Sweet. More Vader, please.
Yeah. Dear Dodecahedron, please make a Vader album.
Oh, that'd be interesting to like, oh man, for like wildly different bands to make an album for another band.
Would they do it in their style, or would Dodecahedron take Vader stuff and put it in the Dodecahedron style, or would it be Dodecahedron trying to play Vader?
I would, I don't know. Both would be interesting, in my opinion.
I think the answer to that is whoever the album is going to be, in this case Vader, the other band has to sound like Vader.
Yeah. Or try to emulate whatever they're doing.
Yes. That's just a cover album at that point, or a tribute album.
Well, at the same time, if you're not actually covering songs.
Ah, fair.
You know?
Yeah.
If you're literally trying to like take the essence of their style or whatever, but do original tunes, that could be interesting.
Well, that I feel is very prevalent now. Going back to the example of Bolt Thrower, all these hardcore kids listen to Bolt Thrower, try and make a death metal band.
There are hardcore kids who want to do Bolt Thrower?
But they do death metal, air quotes.
Is this
like Creeping Death?
Oh.
And the like.
Yeah. No,
I'm not saying good, bad, whatever, but it's that very similar mentality. They love Bolt Thrower, so they're going to try and emulate it.
Right.
Do they pull it off? To me, no. It lacks a certain level of authenticity. But also, I'm just a prick.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. I don't think I've ever listened to anybody who pulls off Bolt Thrower authentically.
Memoriam doesn't, and it's fucking Bolt Thrower.
Yeah. What happened there? Like, what happened?
And that's not true. There's a lot of different members.
Yeah.
But it is from a heart and core of Bolt Thrower.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Man. That's such a shame.
It is.
Why can't we have Bolt Thrower again?
Because of their honor, valor, and pride.
Yeah.
I get it, but I don't like it.
No. God damn it. I've had so many chances to see Bolt Thrower, and I just never did. Just never did.
Yeah.
Because I was too up my butt because I was young and only liked experimental stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, that was me.
We have grown as people.
Yeah. I've grown to appreciate the simpler things. Well, I mean, I don't know.
That's not true at all.
No, it's not.
The music that you gravitate to, the beverages that you gravitate to have a lot of complexity.
Yeah.
And you enjoy the hell out of that stuff.
I do. But I learned to enjoy Bolt Thrower.
Yeah.
Which is one song.
It's one really awesome song.
Well, maybe two. They have two songs.
You have In Battle There Is No Law song, and then every other album song.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And they are fantastic.
I agree.
Wow. We talked a lot about Dodecahedron, didn't we?
You sure did.
I think it's a good album.
It is.
It's worth checking out if you like weirdo shit.
Yeah. Avant-garde black metal. Obtuse metal.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to mention, so I was listening to the album when I was going to bed one night, I guess. This is fucking started hearing like lots of weird shit that I never noticed.
You weren't picking up on previously?
Yeah. You ever get that? Like,
I don't often go to sleep with music.
Oh, okay. I don't really do that so much anymore because it prevents me from actually falling asleep.
Right.
But like, yeah, it's just that half sleep state
Mm-hmm.
where I guess somehow my brain's more receptive to like whatever shit.
Spooky dookies.
Yeah, spooky dookies.
Gotcha.
But yeah, there's just like wee, and like weird sounds. Is like, oh,
Just
this is cool.
like snuck in the cracks of
Yeah.
the audio.
Yeah,
That's cool.
shit that I just like when I'm wide awake, just didn't pick up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder at what point you can get that same experiment with ingesting stuff.
100%.
Okay.
It's called shrooms. But yeah, it's like I think there's something to be said about like having parts of your brains like just kind of turn off to where
It doesn't block out.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're not it's so it's a pure sensory experience.
Yep.
Yeah.
And why? Whatever. Their song titles were silly.
Oh yeah. They were shapes.
They were all the hedrons.
Yep.
Not all, but
Yep, they were three-dimensional shapes, starting from 10. What was
Tetra?
it? Tetra? That's 4. So
I think it
guess
started
not.
at. I don't know.
Tetrahedron. But do they go in order?
I don't remember
think they
now.
do. Yeah, but they're shapes. They're shapes and interludes.
I opened up the lyrics to one of them and read like 2 words and then stopped. I think I got distracted. Well, I obviously got distracted. But it was something to do with the word father.
Yeah. Papa,
The end.
Papa, can you hear me? No, the only lyrics I remember is the death of your body because they repeat it a bunch at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. The death of your body. Death of your body.
Dingus and Dongus.
They Marco.